In this tutorial, I'll demonstrate how to correct a sample that was sampled incorrectly or just given an incorrect tempo. So I'm going to continue on with my white stripes example. You'll see that I've added another white stripe sample at 126 beats per minute. That is actually the incorrect tempo. And the reason I know that it's incorrect is if you loop it on the player and listen to it, you can hear overlap of the two samples. The overlap happens because the tempo is a faster tempo than the correct tempo. If the tempo is below the correct tempo, you will hear a gap between the two samples. So let's give it a little listen. Let me actually turn up the volume so you guys can hear it. Alright, let's hit play. So you should hear the overlap. Now, and if you couldn't, let me just play the correct sample, and this is one that doesn't have the drum, but you should still be able to hear that it lines up perfectly. Okay, so now that we've identified that there is a problem, the way you fix this is to go to your profile page. And here you'll see recent samples. These are the recent uploaded samples. And I should mention that when you're correcting this, you only have a day to do it. I don't want people fixing samples a few days after when people have already added it into their mashups. So here's an incorrect sample. You know it because it has 126 BPM. This is the correct one. So the way you can just correct it is just click the edit button and then enter in the 124 BPM. But if you didn't know what the correct BPM was, you could go back to your samples page, add a sample page, and load up the sample again, which I've already done here just for the video's sake. And what you can do is I've added a few BPM tools. This one, our BPM tool, is what you see down here. And the way this works is you just enter in the number of beats of your sample. You need to know very, very basic music theory, but it should be pretty obvious. If you listen to this sample, for example, you can see that it has 8 beats. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it loops. So you just hit number 8, you hit calculate, and you'll get the 124 beats per minute. If you don't know the number of beats, you can always Google it, or you can try to tap along with the beat using this taps for beats per minute tool. There's instructions on how to use it on that site. So then once you have the correct BPM, you can go back to your profile page, edit, update, and then when you come back here, you want to refresh the page, get the sample, the updated sample. Let's go back to 124 BPM, and then here's a sample that we just updated. And put it back on the player. We'll increase the volume once again. And then I'll loop it, and you can notice that there's no overlap anymore. And there you have it. You just corrected your sample. And that concludes this tutorial.